and the week's been getting busier and time's been running out, and so we've arrived at today, and I've now been thinking I probably have got to make a speech at some point soon. And Alison said, don't worry, it's fine, you've been to plenty of weddings, you've heard loads of speeches. A bit of a confession, I haven't really ever listened to them. So, yeah, I'm not 100% certain if I'm going to be saying the right things or not. But, I mean, thank you. What I want to say first of all is thank you so much to so many friends and family that have travelled from all over the country, I know on a Friday evening, and for a lot of us on the first week of term. So I really do appreciate everybody making the travels. I'd like to thank Alison and Kim and Sandy and Alison who came and decorated the barn. I'll be honest with you, I helped with a little bit. I carried a few things through the door, but I have been at work today, so I think I was let off. But I mean, I think the venue looks fantastic, and can we just give a big thank you to the catering staff and the people on the back. And I'd like to just thank my beautiful wife. It's strange to say, that was strange in the first couple of times in America. And I know Sandy said we've done things a little bit backwards, but we did the wedding the way that we wanted to do the wedding, and I think that we had a fantastic time. And as you can agree, she looks as beautiful today as she did when we stood on the Grand Canyon. And so, can I first of all just pose a toast to Alison?
Alison.
And I'd like to just finish really on just a thank you again to friends and family that have travelled from a distance, or friends and family that couldn't be here today, because I know there's some people that can't make it. So it's to friends and family.
To Metcalfe.
Yeah, I mean, just
yeah, Stacey and Metcalfe.
And like I said, now's the point where I should probably refer back to prior knowledge of speeches, but I've kind of reached the point. But no, actually, there's a good point. That's why Alison's here. Thank you very much to everybody, to Sandy and Alison, who have helped us with the money towards the do today and towards going away. Thank you to Mary for helping towards the cost of the house. Thank you to my parents and to my grandmother for helping towards the cost of our rings and my suit. And we couldn't have done it without you. And so can we just raise a just toast to those few people there? Thank you.
He didn't lift his drink.
Was it me?
Thanks.
Alison keeps having things in.
That's brilliant.
What I'd like is, I'd just like my friend Daniel just said a few words. So I know he's hiding, I think, anyway. Pass over to Daniel.
Go on, Mason.
He's his second beer.
Mason.
My pipe drink. Yeah.
Mason.
Nice work.
Oh, I have been reminded to say actually before start. There is a book going around. If you could just sign it, just a few nice things, no horrible things, please. I hate the people who go to weddings and write horrible things in wedding books. Not horrible things. But if you can just make a few comments, then I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much again.
Give him the microphone.
You're going to see what's happening.
I'm recording.
X Factor.
Are you recording?
You're in it.
Am I?
Sorry.
I was just imagining you all naked there. A bit of advice, I think.
Oh God.
Hold on, there's a...
It's alright, I can't read. So, James, Andrew, David, Creepy, Russell, Howard, Safety Officer, Bergenit, Crawley. I remember the time when Dave asked me to say a few words at his wedding.
It's peanut.
I remember it pretty well.
Point.
I remember it like it was yesterday.
Yeah, literally.
No, sir. He said, it doesn't have to be long, it doesn't have to be funny, just say something nice. Well, Dave, I'm not going to stand here and lie to people. One of my first memories of James was as an infant. I was walking into class, and I had some pretty spectacular news to tell him. I think it was that my dog had died, just been put down. Pluto. So I walked in and I tried to look for him. All of a sudden, out of the corner of my eye, he was buzzing around the classroom, bouncing off the walls, absolutely off his maybe taken something he shouldn't have done. So I shouted after him, but he didn't respond. So I shouted again. This time he looked straight at me and said, "What is it?" as he was running. To which I replied, "My dog's dead." He just as I said the word, been put down, my dog's been put down, a beanbag from out of nowhere trips him up. He lands straight into a radiator.
Ow.
So he plummets into this radiator and I walk up to him and pull him out by his big ears. You know, his head had literally landed in between the grate of the radiator. So James was obviously very vacant, very dazed, very confused, and a significant lack of coordination. Not to mention the injuries he had just sustained running into the radiator. I thought to myself, just sit there, Dave. You might have concussion, okay? We'll get some ice, put some pressure on it, and you two, just make sure he doesn't vomit or feel sick, and come and get us. So I went to the teachers, who were talking at the time, and I stood there, very polite, because you never interrupt teachers as they're talking. Right. And I stood there and I said, excuse me. And she looked down at me and, no, go away, don't you? And so I looked up again and she looked at me and said, "What is it, Daniel?" I said, "Look, I don't think James is very well. I think he's hurt himself." With that, she elbowed me out of the way, offloaded, proper rugby style. I almost banged my head, you know, whiplash. No one came to talk to me about that. And they tended to Dave. No one ever spoke about my dog ever again. Never asked me. It was fine.
It was always Rosie.
But I suppose the point of the story is, this really spurred Dave on. This spurred him on to look into a real career into health and safety. Hence one of his nicknames, the safety officer. Despite all the tragic haircuts, the curtains, the skinhead, the French crop, and the cross-dressing.
I don't remember that.
I do.
Too late, Alison.
Sorry, Alison.
We stayed very close friends throughout school and teenage years, never really losing contact. Some of you may be wondering why we call him Dave. Despite being many moons ago, I remember one instance playing football. James was kicking a free kick, kicking the ball, kicking free kicks after free kick. Sorry. His long blonde hair blowing in the wind, his dashing good looks. Every kick was a pure touch of genius. The ball swinging into the top corner. So obviously we decided to name him after the Norwich City and Coventry legend David Cross. To this day, James still believes that he is named after David Beckham. None of us have ever really had the heart to tell him otherwise. Years later we worked at the Hudson Leisure Centre, where I learned a lot from James. Mainly the art of brown-nosing and getting in there early if you want extra hours. Dave has always taken work seriously, but he always makes time for others and helps them through their problems. And I certainly have reaped the benefits of this. Not like that. If you manage to pass just a fragment of your kindness and warm-hearted spirit onto Alex, he will turn out to be such an amazing man. Just like his godfather. It's so lovely to see James has an amazing woman by his side. A woman that is mature, older, sophisticated, charming, a fantastic mother, and with her devastating good looks as well. But that's enough about Karen. In all honesty, I've never met a couple that are more suited to each other than Alison and Dave. That love each other equally and are prepared, Alison and James, sorry, and are prepared to do anything for each other. Alison shares her amazing sense of humour with James. This is mainly because he hasn't got one of his own. It is an honour to call... It is an honour to call these two people my friends. And it is also a great honour for them to have asked me to be a godfather. A very proud moment for me. I wish the Crawley Grant family a very happy future. And I hope you'll all raise your glasses and we'll say a toast. A toast to the Crawley Grant family.
Crawley Grant. Well done.
Grant-Crawley, my apologies.